not what we're going to be doing here on the Turtle Reads podcast.
We don't give a fuck about gossip, all right? we don't have time for that fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't have time for nonfiction. I'm too busy with fiction. You know what I'm saying? All right? I'm in my head here. There's shit going on up in this bitch. All right? So...
Yeah, we were going to have a guest on today, but...
No. Don't even mention it.
All right.
Okay? Don't mention it. This is the plan. Everything that we're doing right now, we intended to do from the beginning.
Yeah.
Everything is going according to plan. Absolutely nothing is wrong whatsoever. The building's not on fire. Everything's fine. Come on, let's do this.
Yeah, it's that meme with the dog just sitting in a house on fire.
Yeah, that's entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, this is fine. This is fine. And you know what? We're having a great time. This is going to be a great show.
Yeah, no one's back hurts today.
No one's back hurts today because they tried to do 9 pull-ups and it didn't stretch adequately at first. So yeah, everything's totally fine. I'm fine. I'm not sitting weird. What's up? I'm in a weird way. You're weird.
You're weird.
You're weird.
You're sitting weird.
You're weird. Anyway, welcome to the Turtle Reads podcast.
Yeah.
I'm Melissa Diaz, and here is my co-host,
Clay Foreman.
the very handsome and wonderful Clay Foreman. Everybody, shut the fuck up. It's yes. The hell out of here. All right. How's your dating life?
Non-existent right now.
Okay.
I'm basically with that. Kind of feeling out like certain people I've met, but most of them are comics, so I don't want to fucking deal with that.
Don't do it.
So yeah, I need to go out to other places more than just a comedy club.
Out. If you're looking at comics and you're starting to want to bang them, you need to leave.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not even
it's getting to your head. The atmosphere.
I'm not even like thinking about banging too much right now. Like I told you before.
That's even worse. You want to romance one of these fucking bitches? They're crazy.
Exactly what I'm saying.
You know they're crazy, right?
Like, that's my only options right now are comics. So it's like, I just need to go to other places and kind of meet some people.
Hey, man, you want to date a film? Fine. You want your car's tires fucking slashed and your windshield broken. Go be my guest, okay?
But no, yeah, like, lately, all of my dreams have just been like the last one I remember was a dream, me and a chick just cuddling on a sofa watching a show.
Oh yeah,
that was the entire dream.
That's those romance dreams. That's when you want companionship.
Yeah,
companionship, intimacy, the cool hand of a woman stroking your forehead. Do you want a sandwich? Right, that kind of shit. Yeah.
What about? Well, I mean, you're married, so can't really ask that. But how's the house going?
How's going good?
I mean, getting into
oh my
arguments?
God, of course. I mean, listen. Yes, it is putting a strain on the marriage. I'll tell you that right now. It is because, Gene is he's a rager. Okay, he's a redhead. He's a raging redhead. Yes, Justin knows. Yes, and it's not even a surprise. I think I knew from the beginning. It's a big tell with guys. You can tell if a guy is a rager when they're very soft spoken. The more soft spoken, the more it's because they're like treading, lightly. They're like, don't fuck with me. Yeah. Have a nice day. Yeah. Yeah. Just accumulate the shits. And then it finally tips into, it's like, I fucking hate drywall, like that. Fucking. So, that's a good thing about doing drywall, though, because when you get mad enough at it, you can just punch a hole in it, and then that's kind of satisfying.
Yeah, you can punch the hole before you even put it on, and then just like throw that one away.
Yeah, but he hasn't punched any holes. He's been he's been maintaining. He's been doing a good job with the drywall. It's just kind of a bitch to do. I'd never done drywall before, so it's like we're taking down the walls, we're like insulation, putting in new shit. Mudding, paint, priming, all that shit. Like, we're doing everything. It sucks. Yeah. And then there's always like a roach. What is it about empty houses and like a roach? You know what I'm saying? Why does that happen? Like,
so you the hoe with the roaches in her crib?
No, it's just like there's just something about because we haven't moved in yet, right? So the house is empty, right? And there's just something about an empty house that big old roaches decide to go die in.
Well,
You know
yeah,
that?
I mean,
Did you walk it? Do they go in there with that express purpose?
there's nothing
It's
else living in there,
'cause
so they're like, this is obviously a place I could go and not die.
Do they think this is a mausoleum for them though,
Yeah,
or something? They're
basically.
just looking at this fucking thing and they're just like, oh, it's the bill, it's complete. I can die in the fucking place. Well, I don't know, but we'll move in soon, and it's looking nice so far. It's a nice little house.
Nice.
Yeah. We might get chickens.
No, dope. If y'all want some help with that, I know I can get some chickens.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Did you learn that growing up in the farm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have like I know what type of chicken, but like what do y'all want them mostly for? Because there are like different types of chickens.
Just eggs.
Eggs.
Mm-hmm. Eggs and pets. I heard chickens make good pets.
Yeah. I mean, they have a whole they have a podcast show that they do like a side thing where they have cameras connected to their chicken pen. It's called Chicken City.
I would just connect it to the chickens.
That
right?
They're moving
fun?
and they're thinking of doing like a Neo Tokyo one where they're going to have a couple. The main chicken, the rooster, and the main chicken are going to have cameras on them. But you can go on Chicken City and just watch all the chickens all day long. It's a constant live stream, and you can pay money to like play music and like lights, as well as drop extra food for them.
Wait, like the chicken coop is like a club?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, the fucking world is going crazy. Is it just because of all those TikTok videos of chickens just like bouncing up and down?
I don't know, but it's pretty hilarious. I was subscribed to the person's page because they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I would go on Chicken City every now and then just watch, and they're funny. Chickens are hilarious to just like watch.
Yeah.
Because like, God forbid a mouse land in a chicken pen. It's madness.
Yeah. What do they freak out?
Oh yeah, they all it's like a scene from Jurassic Park. The mouse is the human and the chickens are raptors. It's just madness.
Well, yeah, chickens are raptors. Chickens are what's left of the raptors.
Exactly. So dude, it's fucking great.
I feel like the biggest, and it's only because I lived through the era of dinosaurs and no connection to birds. Like nobody knew it yet, right? Well, no, I grew up in like the 90s,
era before
right?
Before scientists realized
before we caught on.
They were so connected. Yeah,
that they were
the
big
same
chickens, right?
Yeah.
So they're like
it was
Tyrannosaurus
like, these are just
Rex,
giant lizards,
which means Latin terrible lizard, and they would just talk about that over and over again, and it was like, what are these things? They're just dragon beasts, and then finally somebody was eating some wings one day, or some shit, and just gnawing on a fucking chicken leg, and then looking at their archaeological dig, and they just went, huh. And then it's just the rest is history. It was just like, these were birds, idiots, right? And it's like the minute you realized it, you couldn't unsee it. Now everybody takes it for granted, but for decades and centuries, everybody was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
But it's so obvious.
Yeah. They were just like,
it's so
T-Rexes
obvious.
and raptors are just lizards, like two-legged lizards. That's what we are.
They are birds. Yeah. They even had feathers, some of them.
Yeah.
They had, and the thing is that makes them even scarier. You know what I mean? These gay dinosaurs. You know what I mean? Like it looks like the dinosaurs look like a Brazilian carnival. You know what I'm saying? The same colors. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Except instead of tits, it's like a fucking razor sharp teeth. Right? Instead of a Brazilian lady's boobs and she's like, oje, eu não falo português. Right? It's a pterodactyl. It's something. It's a bird though, and they colorful feathers. That's just so much scarier to me than an actual, because you expect it of lizards, right? If you look at a snake and a snake bites you, right? Like something about that just feels, look at this fucking thing. Or like a crocodile or an alligator. But I would resent a parakeet. You know what I mean? Like a fucking 700-pound parakeet like ripping me apart. I would fucking resent that.
I wouldn't. That's
fucking bird.
They have giant eagles that grab babies and like lift them off. Like, no, that's still exactly. A giant bird is still the ultimate predator.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm glad we fucking eat them all. That's why I don't fucking give a shit. Everybody's like, save the blah. It's like, you know that you would eat us, right? We're just, this is just our victory lap. This is all we're doing. We're just, you know what I'm saying? We're fucking cutting them up. We're putting them in barbecue sauce and we're savoring them because they used to eat our children, right? So every time you eat a wing, just remember that. Okay, you fucking eat that thing because that its ancestors ate your ancestors' children. This is your fucking victory wing. You eat that shit.
If they were big, would you be down to, like, if we could train them to ride chickens? Would you want to ride a chicken?
Maybe. I mean, they seem kind of bony. I don't know if it would be comfortable. It'd be kind of weird.
I would want to.
And also, they would kind of bob up and down. They're not very efficient modes of transportation.
I don't know. They're pretty fast. They fucking go.
Yeah, but are they comfortable to sit on?
Feathery as shit. Like it's almost all cushion. Especially if they're giant.
Yeah.
If they're giant, it's like giant feathers. Like you're sitting on something, a feather the size of you, pretty much.
Pin cushion though. More cushion for the pushing.
And I'm sure we make a saddle for it.
I suppose. This is total book talk conversation.
Of course.
This is like, so this episode, what we're going to be doing, we're going to do something a little bit different, a little more interesting. We're going to be talking about just internet book culture, right? And just kind of in general, just books and personal likes and dislikes and all this stuff. So trivia questions, which Clay has been good enough to compile.
I like to ask weird hypothetical questions that annoy some people.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it.
Okay. So yeah, have you ever been on any kind of internet book community?
Not really, no.
No.
I'm very solitary almost all the time, even on the internet. I don't do much forums or anything anymore. Mm-hmm. Whenever I did chat rooms and shit back in the day, I was all just to scam people out of shit.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of still the status quo. I think that's kind of still what people are doing. That's the one thing that always bugged me out about online book communities is it's like, why do you want to talk to each other, right? Don't you want to read your fucking book?
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I hate the most, really, is having a bunch of people who are reading what I'm reading, giving me input.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear your stupid ass interpretation, you know? Like, I don't want to hear your dumb ass thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like two person tops. No, one or two. I'm saying like a book club.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is like, you're just sitting around with a bunch of lesbians, right? And they're knitting and they're just like, well, I just think it was misogynistic and shit. And like, I don't even want to address that kind of shit. You know, I don't want to put myself in the position where somebody's going to make me talk about something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Because then it's just immediately, it's going to be a confrontation, you know?
Well,
and then I'm just going to start yelling. And then that's one less lesbian that wants to be my friend. Okay.
What do you hate more in that? The person who becomes offended by something, or the person who was like college educated in literature, in literary studies, and the secret plot line within this is blah 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 and all that kind of shit, which is more annoying.
I think the college one is more annoying because they don't think they're stupid, but they are, you know, because they like look at the diploma and the thing is like you go to college now and they just put this idea in your head that because you're in college, you're going to be smarter than people who aren't in college, right? So you immediately have that. And the way they do that is that they don't do it overtly, right? What they do is it's more subtle. They'll go, okay, let's read this book. Let's read this article. Let's listen to this person's opinion. And then let's consider it within the framework of their socioeconomic condition, their gender, their race, their age, their generational trauma. You know what I mean? Like, was Reagan in office? You know, and it's like all this shit, right? And that's the way they kind of get away with communicating the idea, like, you don't have to respect XYZ person's opinion because of the framework within which they're intellectually operating, right? Yeah. And so that shit is the one thing that annoyed the shit out of me when I was going to college, was that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like, Yeah, you live in a fucking framework too, you fucking egghead, you know, in your fucking ivory tower. It's literally everybody knows your framework. You don't know your framework because you live in it, right? And the only people that would tell you what it is, you don't respect. So you're never going to know how much of a douchebag you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you think that you've divorced yourself from the burden of living within a framework, right? Like you actually think that you don't just because you talk about it. You don't, you do, you know? In fact, you live in a worse situation. You live in a framework of frameworks. You live in a fucking fun house. You live in a house of mirrors, you know, where everything is just reflected back at you. And it's just the ego on these people. They annoy the fuck out of me. Sorry.
No,
it's just so annoying to me because they're so arrogant and stupid. That's the thing. Like if you were arrogant but smart, right? Then I would begrudgingly be like, all right, yeah, you know, you fucking, yes, good point, you fucking asshole. But they're stupid also, in addition.
Yeah.
You know, they're pseudo-intellectuals.
Yeah, for sure. That I had a guy that whenever I went to UL, the University of Lafayette, I went for architectural design, and I had a dude like that in the class who was like, everybody was like, he was like the smartest one, got the highest scholarship and shit, and he was a really intelligent dude, but thought of it in that kind of like very academic framework. And in architectural design, yeah, design is part of it, but you also have to make sure the shit works, is functional, you know. And so it was actually a really good design department. Our teacher he had every semester we would do a final project building up to an actual thing we would build. What we were doing was building a play area at a preschool. And the guy he was the really intelligent student, whatever the fuck, he was super big into Salvador Dali. And I was too. So I would like talk to him and he's like, I'm going to design stuff like around the ideas of Salvador Dali and very
That's fucking horrible. That's a horrible idea.
Was my thing too. I'm like, half your shit's not going to be able to stand. Like, I don't know what and he did, like, at the end of the semester, we built this play area, about 4 foot by 4 foot play area for the kids to play with at a preschool. Mine was actually like, the teacher had this phrase, he would say, taking a 10 and turning it into 100, taking a simple idea and making it the best it could be. And that's what he used on mine. The other dudes, he was still like, by the end of the thing, he was still like trying to figure out how to make certain parts work. And it wasn't even working at the like thing where the final project point. And I'm like, yeah, because you're trying to do this really abstract idea with like a crane and a pulley and shit, but it's like the cables aren't connecting right and shit. And I'm like, yeah, you're trying to do a fucking spiral fucking pulley and it's just dumb. It's
Now imagine that same guy, but he's running the government. You know what I mean? That is exactly the same thing. And it's
my
like,
economic policy is like the time dilation painting of Salvador Dali.
Fucking yes. And that is what they do. They you know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing about them. They learn everything is theoretical, right? And everything is super abstract and inspired by their fucking masturbatory fantasies of greatness and just birthing something that's never been seen in the world before, man, you know, and like we really got to change things. Those kinds of people, that doesn't even, people try to be like, oh, that's progressivism or that's this, and that's nothing. That's that person's fucking ego, you know. And there's just so many people like that, and the best place, you know, the easiest place for them to have ego-driven projects, at least in government, you know, is with progressivism because it's more permissive, right? And so that's why that's the real reason why they hate like all conservatism across the board. Like people that are like that, like they hate all conservatism. I never trust those kind of people because it's like something's up, you know? Because if you don't even understand the premise of why somebody could be conservative about something, then you're fucking suspect, dude. You're suspect as fuck. That means you want people to just fucking drive anywhere, even if it's off a cliff, you know? It's like, you don't understand that sometimes conservatism is about like, hey, maybe we should think about this, you know? That's it. That's like at its core, right? Conservatism is like, it's just a person that's like, look, I like the way things are and I don't want to fucking, I like this. Why do we have to go over here? I want to be here, you know?
Yeah.
And this is why it tends to be a lot of men, because like men are like that, right? They're just kind of like, I want my chair and I want my TV and I want my beer, you know?
Keeps
But
it
it's
simple.
like, yeah, exactly. And it's like, why would you think that a person like that doesn't even deserve to exist, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why can't this motherfucker just be in his lazy boy with his fucking beer? Like, he's not bothering anybody, you know? And that's that part of when people criticize right wing shit, whatever the fuck, it's like, I know they're criticizing just anything that would be a no for what they want to do.
Yeah.
And then what they want to do is usually like Salvador Dali inspired claptrap. You know what I'm saying? Just utter nonsense. Because they don't fucking, because they learn everything in college. And it's like if you learn how to ride a bicycle in college, but you never rode a bicycle. You just learned the theory of riding a bicycle. You know what I mean? And then it's like, now you're gonna go teach other people how to ride a bicycle. It's like, fuck you. Like, how would that person even teach it? You know? It's like, well, first we have to consider the socioeconomic framework within a person's experience and connection to riding a bicycle. You know? And it's like, no, you get on the fucking bike, you fall down a bunch of times until you don't, and that's kind of it, right? So it's like, don't make something that more complicated than it has to be.
Yeah.
That's it, right? And like, look at you. You're just like a sensible fucking guy, right? You build the fucking thing the way it's supposed to be built, and you knocked it out of the park. You know what I mean? And now all those kids are gonna have a safe little playground. To that guy, the Salvador Dali playground, those kids are dead. They're dead. Okay?
Well, no.
They fell off the melting clock. Okay? They fucking busted their shins on the elephant on stilts. They got impaled on the fucking rocky outcroppings. Those are Dali paintings. Paintings are fucking borderline nightmares. You want a fucking little kid to be playing around something that's inspired by Dali? Seriously, fuck that guy.
It ended up being the opposite. If I didn't end up actually getting mine made because I used up all my money in building the prototype. I didn't have any more money to make it safe for kids. So
wait a minute. All right.
The other dude, he got the highest scholarship in the class and shit, so he probably got his made ultimately.
And those kids are dead because of it. Do you see? Because of his arrogance and his privilege and his fucking Dali fanaticism. Now he just fucking killed those kids. They're all fucking dead. What's like a Dali paint? Have you seen a Dali painting?
Yeah, I'm a fan.
They're horrifying. They're terrifying. They're beautiful.
Yeah,
but you don't want your kids playing in them.
Yeah, no, it's an acid trip within an image for sure. It's
the reason why we don't give acid to kids. You don't think we want to? You don't think we want to give acid to kids? Everybody wants to give acid to kids, by the way. And you know how you know? By how many people give acid to their dogs. Okay, that there's a correlation. Okay. You give acid, like people give psychedelics to their pets and shit, right? Because it's like no one's going to arrest you for it because they're not going to find out because the animal can't say anything.
Not really. Most people who I know who have pets are very, very against that type of shit. Like they freak out whenever it happens. But I know at least 2 different comics who've come through here, and one of them it happened here where he thought his dog ate his shroom chocolates. And he freaked the fuck out. Like he's like, I got to go to the vet right now. Like not only because it's chocolate, but he was also freaking out because of the mushroom, because he didn't know how his dog would react to the mushrooms and shit.
He'd start talking or something, the usual.
It was a tiny dog. He was literally.
He just starts strumming a guitar.
What if she has a heart attack or whatever? Like he was like, but yeah, I don't know anybody personally who, I mean. They haven't told me, but I don't know anybody personally who's had like.
I got my dog drunk one time.
Nice.
I was already drunk though. If I had been sober, I wouldn't have done it. But I was already. Oh, I got a cat drunk one time. I gave a shot of Southern Comfort. It did not appreciate that. That was the one time I tried cocaine. I'll probably never do that again.
Damn. Nice. I mean, it makes sense. I know a bunch of people who get their dogs high. Like that was a big thing with my friend, a friend of mine who started off as my weed dealer, and then he just became a good friend. I'd go over and shit. He had a pit bull, and he would get it high all the time. But she also loved, like you could tell whenever an animal loves weed or doesn't love weed, as soon as you like pull it out, either they coming up to you and wanting some, or they're like, I'm out of the room. Fuck this
Dogs
shit.
tend to love weed, though. I think that's been pretty well documented.
I've seen a couple where they're just like, fuck this shit. I'm out. I'm not
Probably
coming back.
because they tried it.
I'm not coming back till the smell is gone. Like, they just hate weed in general.
Yeah. What kind of dogs are those? Fucking pugs?
No,
Losers.
I've seen a couple different, like, you know, my the friend that I was talking about, the weed dealer, he had another friend of ours, Beaner, who he
Is he
was
Mexican?
like, nope. He just looked Mexican, so his nickname was Beaner.
Yeah, okay, I get that. There in New York, there in every neighborhood there's some Puerto Rican who has slightly Asiatic eyes, and he just immediately everybody calls him Chino.
Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, he's Cajun as fuck. Just a big round dude who has like a slightly darker complexion, short hair, and looks like he's Hispanic. So his nickname's Beaner.
And he's go, hey, hey. It's just every time he walks by. Hey, hey.
But he breeds pit bulls. He breeds them, and like I'd say half and half. Half of them, and he also smokes a ton of weed, like me and Mikey. But half of his pit bulls love it. The smell of it, and the other half, like, they'll leave the whole house if he starts smoking.
All right. Fascinating.
All right, let me get to one of my questions since you're so done with this. Of all the like literature you've read, which world would you want to live in as you?
Literature?
Yeah, or like comic book or anything you've ever read. What world would you want to like live in? Mine's probably obvious. I would want to live in the Discworld. That shit seems fun.
Discworld? Seems chaotic.
Yeah, of course.
Seems kind of cracked out, really.
Like, that would be so much fun.
Yeah.
Go to Unseen University, because you could be a wizard real quick. They're all dumb.
Yeah, but the thing about Discworld is
all the wizards are dumb.
Okay, like I've been to a DMV, right?
Yeah.
And the DMVs are one of the most deranging experiences that we have in this society to date, right? Where you go and you never have the right documents and they send you back and then they're incompetent and then they lose your shit and then you got to come back and then nobody cares. And it's like, that seems like what Discworld is, but for magical beings, you know? It's like all the wizards and dragons, but they're all like incompetent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're not even good at being what they are.
That's why you just go in being competent and have a slight bit of confidence.
Yeah.
And act like you're the one in charge.
But I have neither, so
I'd be down.
I can't do that. I'm not that.
Just go in smiling and be like, yo, this is what we need to do right now. Says blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And then they would just go.
Yeah, they're dumb.
What plan is it that you have in mind right now that would work? Like, what is your scheme?
Go into Unseen University, start to become a wizard, and then like the head of Unseen University he's sly and slightly good at like not getting assassinated, but other than that, like he doesn't really know much about like outside shit outside of the towers. So just like master a couple major magic spells and then go and make a fortune.
Interesting. Make a fortune?
Yeah.
Where?
Just fucking up shit in the Discworld.
I don't think you have a clear plan. I don't know. This doesn't sound like what the fuck are you like? What do you?
I mean, the best plan for a Discworld plan.
You just said I'm gonna go into this world. I'm gonna look confident, and I'm gonna tell people what to do.
Go in with confidence, and
what are you gonna tell them to do? I sound like Seinfeld.
I mean, it's less.
What are you gonna tell them?
The confidence part is just getting into the Unseen University, becoming a wizard, that type of thing. You know?
Yeah, but
and
don't they
once
kill
I
each
know
other?
the magic, I you know.
Your mic, Clay.
I apologize.
Apologize to the mic.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I wouldn't be in any world.
You wouldn't want to?
I don't know, man. It's there's every time you go to a new world, there's all these fucking rules, new rules. I mean, just moving here to Austin, I had to get used to all of this like slower pace and shit, and it's like quiet. Then you can hear crickets all the time, and like I had to get used to that shit and like live in it, No crackheads screaming in the night.
No, like Dune World, Never Ending Story. You wouldn't want to.
Well, they all seem like places I would probably die. So I don't know.
I mean, you could die here.
Yeah, but I got a good thing going on here so far.
Okay.
Right now, I'm alive, right? It's like I know how to navigate enough to avoid it. If I were to, let's see. I mean, I guess no. I don't want to live in Dune. Dune is like fucking. I mean, Dune is Palestine. I don't want to live in Palestine. That place is insane. I did read a novel when I was a kid that I've actually always been searching for because I forgot the title, but
I have the same
I did
thing.
like the setup. Yeah, there's always those books that you
There's
read.
one book you read and you're like, I can't remember the name.
I can't remember the name. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And it was at the library or whatever. And it's like, I'll never find this book again.
Yeah, mine was in like my fourth grade class, just a book in the bookshelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they were sort of a service that, you know what I mean? I've thought of that often because I still search for that book.
You're just like describing the book and shit, not even with names.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, I know.
They should have that. Or maybe even just a subreddit where you could go, like the way people go to comedy subreddits and just ask like, hey, what's the comedian that talks about like putting his own dick in his own asshole, and then you're just like Doug Stanhope and you're like, oh, thanks, man. They should do that, but with books where you're just like, what's the book where, and then
just have a bunch of librarians and shit
nosy
on that.
bored librarians. Yeah. Just looking up the books. Do you have any books that you
like
cherish?
A book that you remember reading that you
really awesome, important book, really useful. I know what kind of books you like, but very, very much utility, much utility, useful.
No, like one that you don't remember the name.
Yeah, you don't remember the name,
anything,
but it was so useful.
But you remember reading it and like,
it taught you
this changed something.
Yeah. My textbooks in college. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And that's why he's the producer.
Yes, that's right. My textbooks. Justin's answer, my textbooks in college. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Get
You
your
did
nap.
turn that to him.
I did. All right. Anyway, but I wish there was that service. But this book that I read, that might be a world, because I like the it's futuristic and it's the colonization of Mars basically, but it's aquatic, and I just like the technology that they have because they can alter your biology so that you can be aquatic, and I always thought that'd be pretty cool because they give you webbed appendages and you get gills and stuff, and you can like breathe underwater. I've always wanted that. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I think I would probably do better in the long Earth actually than the Discworld.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Just colonizing, like going out and creating a farm on some random Earth and shit. That'd be pretty dope.
I feel like I could see that. Yeah, I mean, you have the skills.
Yeah.
You could be like the master playground builder.
No, I just start a farm somewhere
and chicken
on Long, Louisiana, whatever the fuck.
Something that's like a bayou, sort of. Yeah.
Make some crawfish farms.
Isn't it very humid there?
Yeah, I love it. Like outside right now, it's like drizzly and humid right now.
You like it?
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's gross. I'm sorry. You don't put talcum powder?
Nah.
Humid. Jesus Christ, dude. When I was living in DR, I would do that. And you could put powder. Just stay cool.
I mean,
shower 5 times a day.
I shower pretty frequently because I'm a bigger dude. I know shit smells a little bit more. So I do shower frequently, but like I've never seen the reason for powder and shit. Like it just feels weird. Like I got powder on me. I don't know.
I like it. At least because it's drying you. It's drying, it's soaking.
So
the moisture.
It's just wet. It's just moisture. It's just water. What is the problem with?
Yeah, it's
getting
not just
wet?
water. Yeah, and listen, full disclosure, I don't wear deodorant. So I'm just gonna put that out there. You know, I don't know if you've noticed, but
I've never smelled. You never smell weird to me, but
yeah, well, yeah. I feel like it gets hidden under my hair or something. I don't know. I feel like somehow I'm getting away with something that I shouldn't be getting away with. But it's working so far, so I just don't say anything. But I just want the world to know that I haven't worn deodorant for years now. And I mean, it's pretty great. I don't think you need it, honestly. I think most products are bullshit, and you really don't need much of anything.
I mean, yeah, it's all now. It all depends.
I hate perfume, for example.
Some people get like after you've, and it is kind of societal. I had a cousin who used certain type of deodorant for a long time, and they built up a issue with a certain chemical.
Yeah.
And then so they had to like switch deodorants, but because of that issue, they now stunk more than normal.
Yeah. See. The chemicals just mess up your body
but
more.
Then also, I had a teacher in high school who was allergic to deodorant altogether. That was fucking insane. She would sweat like it's South Louisiana in a trailer. Her class was literally a trailer with like a window unit.
That's
and
beautiful.
She would start sweating and stinking. And one time she went in front of the AC to cool off and like did like this. The entire class fell out of it. We had planned on it the next time she did it. We were trying to like kind of shame this woman.
No.
And we literally, as soon as she lifts her arm in front of the AC
what
unit,
is she
we
doing?
all
Like,
just,
is she doing like the Peter Pan? You know?
yeah, just kind of trying to cool off.
She did the Peter Pan?
And
she did the Peter Pan in front of the ace.
Yeah.
That's gross.
And like she would do this every now and then. And so the whole class got together. We're like, next time she does this, we have to kind of shame her because it's stinking up the entire class. And so as soon as she did it, we all literally fell out of our desks the other way, just like, oh,
that's
just
perfect.
Fucking dude. And I think we made that teacher cry.
Fuck her. She should know better. And also, women cry for nothing. So everybody knows it, okay? And it's like sometimes we just got to get it out of our system and have a good cry, and then it's fine. It's a learning experience.
Well, yeah, she would like
women crying is the equivalent of men punching a wall. It's the same thing, right? Get it out of your system. Except, yeah. Mm-hmm. Women crying is more like a punch in some guy's wallet because then he's just like, I'll get you anything, please just stop crying.
What do you want to eat? Come on.
Yeah. Can't get you anything at all, anything, please stop. The kids in my class, they think I stink.
But yeah, also I had the other question I asked you earlier. I'm glad I asked you earlier so you could probably kind of have an idea of it, that the story supergroup.
Story supergroup, that's a very complex question.
I know.
Listen.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's say a large movie production studio came to you and said they're going to make whatever you want to make. So you get to choose the writer of the script, the director, and the main cast members. The main guy, a side tertiary character, and the villain. And I have two. I told you my first answer for it. And my comedy one would be Terry Pratchett as writer. You choose dead or alive. Terry Pratchett as writer. Wes Anderson as director. Gene Wilder, Aubrey Plaza, and then Patrick Stewart as the villain. I think that would be hilarious.
Why?
Well, Terry Pratchett, the satirical humor of the script would be, I think fit perfectly with like Wes Anderson's style, like a kind of whimsical, magical world, whatever he wants to write, with like Wes Anderson's crazy style of like very specific color palettes, shit like that. Mm-hmm. Gene Wilder's hilarious, always. Like he's a great actor in general, but him in like Blazing Saddles and
is he still alive?
No. Dead or alive.
Do you want him at his prime?
Yeah.
Or do you want him with
what's
dementia?
What's the movie with Richard Pryor? Don't see no evil, or no.
See no evil.
It's not see no. It's not see no evil. It's the one where one of them's blind and one of them's deaf.
Yeah, see no evil, hear no evil, or whatever the hell, something like that.
No, I'd see no evil, hear no evil is like a horror movie.
Well, I don't think it's only a horror movie though. See no evil.
Yeah. It is? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was right. And you were right.
Yeah.
All right.
What about Gene Wilder with dementia?
No, I mean, Or like
You're just like, okay, read your lines. He's like, are you my grandson? And
no,
you're just
it would be all these actors and writers in their prime.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Gene Wilder, he's great. Aubrey Plaza, because I do like how she does in comedic kind of roles, like kind of dry, and I think that would go with the dry British humor.
Mm-hmm.
And then Patrick Stewart, because he's amazing, and honestly, I think he would do a really good villain role.
Yeah, did you ever see him be a Nazi in that horror movie?
Mm.
It's a great movie. You ever see that one? I forget the name of it actually, but it's Patrick Stewart. He's the head villain in this this horror movie. It's like a realist horror movie. These guys, these bandmates, they go to play in this green room. They go to this remote location to play for some event. And the event turns out to be some fucking like neo-Nazi rally or something like that. And they get trapped there with those guys trying to kill them, basically. And Patrick Stewart's like the head Nazi, which, he didn't even have to shave his head for that role. It was just kind of made for it.
Yeah, okay. I need to watch that because, I always thought like Patrick Stewart gets places like, mostly like good characters and shit, like good guys, a mentor or some shit. But I feel he's such a well-rounded actor. I would like to see him in a villain role.
Yeah, he's great at it. The one great thing about Patrick Stewart is that he has the most professional level of humility as an actor. He has, and it's like humility as in he doesn't think he's too good for any role.
Yeah.
And it's the reason why he's had such a long career is because he never gave a fuck about, within reason, about doing Captain Jean-Luc Picard forever, for the rest of his life, he's kind of always going to have to do that.
Yeah.
But he's always taken it with a fair amount of grace and he's very generous with his fandom and everything. And he just does all the cosplay and the events, and he shows up for all the speaking engagements and he always leans into it. Like he just always did that. And over time, I really grew to respect that.
Yeah. And he's very good at with like, he's well-rounded in the sense like he'll do drama, but also comedy. He's like one of the main recurring characters in American Dad, the boss dude who's like wild as fuck, like does fuck parties and shit like that. So he'll be serious or he's willing to do a voice acting role about having a fuck party and shit. So it's especially in that movie that I'm thinking of with Terry Pratchett and Wes Anderson shit. I think he would be a great like funny villain.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. See,
but what about you?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. Not even any idea, like
I don't know, I guess writer Clive Barker, director David Lynch, villain Hillary Clinton, hero Tucker Carlson, because that would be hilarious.
I'm talking actors here.
They're actors. What do you think? They're fucking real? Those are not real people. Those are less than human. Let me see. Who else?
Just one other like tertiary character, like actor, like
O.J. Simpson.
He was a really good actor.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
He was not a good actor.
What was those
O.J.
movies?
Simpson?
Yeah.
You ever see him in Roots?
No,
he showed up at like a loincloth.
But,
yeah, he's in Roots. He makes an appearance in Roots.
Yeah, but it's not that much.
He comes out from behind a bush in a loincloth. It's crazy.
What's that? What are the movies that he's most known for? It's
most known for?
Yeah, no, he had
Naked Gun?
Yeah, the Naked Gun movies. He was good in the Naked Gun movies.
Okay. Nobody was good in the Naked Gun movies. That's why it was funny.
Well, I mean, he was generally like...
He was not good. He was good. Okay, maybe they directed him well and he was serviceable for that, but he was not good. He wasn't good at acting. I mean, I'm sorry. The best, he wasn't even good at pretending he didn't kill his wife.
Well,
he didn't know how to act.
Because he didn't pretend. He
didn't
literally
know how to act.
wrote a book that said, if I did it.
That was later. But when during the trial, he was trying to pretend his fucking ass off and it wasn't working.
I mean, he always had that kind of crazy, just like dead, like, yeah, I didn't do it. Like that little smirk.
Even without that, the evidence was overwhelming.
Yeah.
The only reason why he got, I mean, everybody knows why he got off. It's because was the LAPD,
they fucked it up.
They were a travesty.
Yeah.
They more than fucked it up. They were an embarrassment. Like they were a national embarrassment. And it's like that. You know, that's why everybody who was in favor of him getting off didn't give a fuck, because they were more about like, look at the justice system here. Look at these fucking losers. Look at this circus, right? Like this is what we're trying to tell you about, you know. And then because of their gross incompetence, you know, it's like, what are they in Discworld?
You want to do If I Did It on this podcast?
If I Did It?
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well. Sure.
All right.
I can't imagine that it's good, but it might be. Who knows?
I mean, I heard there's like the one chapter where he basically lays out exactly how he did it. And then the rest of it is just like painting a pretty picture of his like life story, like his biography. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure we'll just like kind of hyper focus on one particular chapter. Yeah. And maybe a little bit on like him possibly not having too good of a childhood or getting a bunch of CTE from football.
Look, nobody had a good childhood.
Yeah.
All right.
If you're writing an autobiography, you probably didn't have a good childhood.
Most of us did not have a good childhood. Most of us did not have a good childhood. It's not even possible. There was too much shit going on. I mean, we're coming out from the momentum of centuries of fucking raping and pillaging and shit. You think we're gonna have nice households after that? You think we're gonna have well-adjusted parents after the fucking Mongols, you know, decimate Europe and shit? You think we're gonna have a nice fucking time? We're like, it's gonna be Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood after the fucking Crusades, after World War II. You know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't even expect to have good childhoods. We should be surprised when anybody has one.
I don't know.
Everyone should be getting molested.
They have a joke, but I think it's Shane Torres, some pretty popular comedian. He's like, I'm sorry I didn't have like a horrible childhood. I don't have like a bunch of trauma to fall back on for my jokes and shit.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is that thing of like, yeah, trauma is somehow linked to like really good artistic people. You know, like some of the best musicians, the best writers, the best actors, everything is that most of them had like serious fucked up things happen to them. So
and thank goodness. Yeah. Where would we be without Jim? You know, it's like, come on. All of the most wonderful, Janis Joplin, Michael Jackson, all the wonderful writers, you know, just fucking dying inside.
Neil Gaiman lived under a bridge for years.
Yeah, a troll, a literal troll, inspiring his whole fantasy world. He started from the troll. He's like, I'm like a troll. And then he ended with dragons and fucking fairies and shit. And then like an ironic perspective of having to deal with the fucking welfare state in his country and shit, or whatever the fuck that ended up being for him, right? So yeah, it's great. Without their fucked up ass lives.
Now Neil Gaiman lives in America.
Without their fucked up lives, they wouldn't be just happy to be there. That's why they're so great, because their lives are so fucked up that anywhere they go, that people just want to see them. They're just happy to be there. You know, they're just so happy to be in like the stage is like the safe space, you know, and then makes them way more enthusiastic. And that's what you need. You need fucking zest and enthusiasm to do something that's utterly pointless and meaningless and like doesn't matter. Not that it's not meaningless, but it doesn't matter, right? Art doesn't matter. It's not why we do it, right? It just is. But you have to be fucked up somehow to be enthusiastic about doing something that ultimately doesn't matter. You know, that's the thing, and also insane a little bit, right? It's like you have to have all that shit, that whole milieu, you know. And luckily for us, this murder planet is so fucked up that it'll never stop happening. We will always have art because there will always be people with fucked up lives.
Yeah.
So
it'll just become more evolved in how it's fucked up. Now it's just becoming more technologically fucked up. People watching social media, getting the likes and dislikes and comments and just like internalizing all that shit constantly.
Social media is already becoming a fucking
Yeah.
like I can already see it. It's already moving into the people that are fucking shouldering their way into the spotlight. It's all just like it's all just really yappy people, just people with ADD and like very socially extroverted gay guys and like old whores, you know, and the old whores are like fighting the younger whores, you know, and then it's like they have to use their wiles, their wisdom that they built up in their tits, you know, to fight the young whores because the young whores are young, fresh whores, right? But the old whores have personality and guile, you know, and then they so they get in that way, right? And then it's like that's all social media is just a bunch of fucking just whores and queers and everybody's blah, 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 and they just say nothing. And that's what social media is now. That's it. That's why you have to have like, I don't know, like niche book communities and shit, so that at least you can have like an aesthetic that you prefer or something, you know? But even you go to Book Talk, you go to Bookstagram, it's the same fucking thing. It's just like now it's like the whores read or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're sitting there with a book on their breasts.
Yeah,
open.
and the gay guys are just like, you know, bisexual asexuals who just love their cats, you know, and then things like that. And it's just all aesthetic choice.
Well, we'll end on. I have another question. One more, and then we'll get out. What? I'm trying to be professional. Anyway,
You're doing a good job.
So, if you were to, let's say, you were going to write something, and it's going to be your like magnum opus, like the thing that you're remembered for. Mm-hmm. What genre do you think it would be? Like, what type of story?
What genre?
Yeah, or like type of story, or
it would be like a B movie horror for sure. Movie horror comedy.
So like an evil bong or some shit like yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, like a haunted testicle.
Fuck yeah. No, that would be hilarious.
What about you?
Me, I'd probably like a dark fantasy like
Yeah, you take it.
Dark fantasy like stoner thing.
Okay. Dark fantasy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
give me some examples.
Like kind of like American Gods mixed with Pineapple Express.
That is. Whoa. The fuck?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you've got to write that shit. I just want to see what that is. Sounds good.
Yeah, just like some vaguely magical person doing drugs and getting stuck in some weird ass, you know, situation.
Vaguely magical person. So basically your life. You're just talking about you. You know, like a vaguely magical person just getting into hijinks in the dark, seedy underbelly, but whimsical. Hell yeah. All right. Are you working on anything like that? Conceptualizing anything?
Not that in particular. I have some other shit. You know, I'm working on superhero universe and shit, but that one, that idea, I've kind of flung into and then like dropped out. Basically, compiled a bunch of different stories like that into one kind of vague idea.
Yeah.
But that one's on the back burner in general.
I'm going to write one where it's like an Alice in Wonderland, like a dark Alice in Wonderland inspired fiction where Hillary Clinton is Alice and she's trapped in like a Salvador Dali universe.
Your obsession with Hillary Clinton right now is a little weird.
I don't know. I just mentioned her earlier. I figured I'd mention her again. And all she has to fight, you know, all of the crazy magical beings is just like little bottles of hot sauce, you know? That's
yeah, she said she always has hot sauce in her purse.
Yeah, it's still hot sauce.
Nice.
Says drink me. Drink me, I like black people.
Have Biden in there as some like Yoda like character who just like sniffs her hair.
Yeah. Exactly. He's a caterpillar. Who are you? And then it's like, who am I?
Where are the stairs?
And then his handlers come and it's like, come on, just smoke the pipe. Yeah, stay on the mushroom. All right. Well, that was the Turtle Reads.
Yeah. It was an interesting one.
It was a good one.
It was a good one.
It was a great one.
It was a good one.
We talked about stuff.
Yeah.
Again. Hell yeah.
Yeah, just a fun little aside from our regularly scheduled programming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We talked about book culture.
Yeah.
And dinosaurs.
Book stuff, dinosaurs.
Yeah. Book stuff, dinosaurs, building things. I mean, this is going to be great if you have autism. This is going to be a great episode.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be really into this one.
For sure.
Yeah.
So if y'all have any questions or anything, email to theturtlereadspod@gmail.com. Next week, we are going to have on Zach Chapman, who wrote A Haunting on Mars. Good little comic book.
Hell yeah.
And we will see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.